blessings to the elder bishops. Salutations to all our fellow laborers that do this work in truth and sincerity and realize that their freedom to do so now more so than ever. The would be judges, the 144,000 of Tabernacle of David, ordained to be the ruling class people on earth above all other nations, all other people, all other hills and mountains. All right? And to the rest of the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners among the heathen that have the appearance of the heathen. This is not a black only thing. Few Akwak and the sisters that are listening and learning, you say Shalom. So you see the name, the title is All Secrets Are Being Revealed. The dirt on Esau. And you know, that's this particular channel that I follow, and we'll get to her later, but and this is Edomite. Her name is Brewski, or whatever her name is. Her whole channel is dedicated to revealing the dirt and the secrets of Edomite men, and the penis envy, the obsession they have with Jake, especially Judah. They have this weird obsession. But before we touch on her, we're going to talk about something else. Somebody get Luke 12:2 real quick, Bob Kushan. The scripture seems to come out like literally every week, multiple times. So you're on room temperature to me.
This Luke chapter 12, verse 2. This is a real lawyer, Howard Shah speaking. But there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known.
Yeah, so everything's coming out about Esau. There's a particular event that took place with a man called Captain Kirk. And after watching it, and I came to this assumption myself, and now, you know, so there's groups of guys and different people investigating it, and they try to, you know, because they came in and snatched up Captain Kirk's body. They didn't allow, we never saw an autopsy. Right. They just, and they trampled over the crime scene. They concreted it over and did all kind of shit to it. They really didn't want people to look into it and investigate it or anything of that nature. But when I watched it in super slow motion, I watched how his shirt danced. His shirt danced, but then blood came out of his neck. And it poured out like a faucet. And you know, and you know, and being in the military and you know, and a lot of things that I've seen and been around. One thing that I do know is that if you get hit from the front, blood's not spurting from the front.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and then right, how's blood coming out squirting forward if he got hit this way? Then they conveniently left the note and the same thing, you know, for some reason, you know, everybody in these recent, like I would say, like since like make the last 10 years or so, every criminal and every mass shooter, whatever, wants to leave a manifesto. They got to write a letter, leave an ID, you know, right, leave stuff behind, just just in reach of the lost ones to define it. So they left the 30-06. Now, I'm not a hunter, but like I said, I do know a little something about firearms and weapons. And I know that if you get hit in the neck with you ever seen the size of a full-grown buck? You know, a male deer, or even a full-grown, doe, a female deer. Huge, man. They're really big. It's something that can take, a beast like that down with one shot. Okay, one shot, because it's a 30-yard is designed to do a clean penetration straight through.
All
right? Because if it was something else, then you get hit with a weapon. You got the bullets that tumble around and tear up scar tissue and make you bleed out and die and all that stuff. Well, the 30-06 does the same thing, but it does it better because it's designed to punch through mass and leave a clean hole and just send you to the spirit world, whatever you are. all right? Because you can take down very large beasts. So there's no way that the small as the neck is, or, you know, on a human being, you're gonna. If that man was hitting the neck with a 30-60, his head probably might have came off. It'll look like he pissed off Conan and he swung a sword out. All right, it'd have been a lot messier than that. And then I watched a video today where these people were. Somebody could look up the word theory, and the Israeli news guy Stephen Danoon was on some other guy's show. All right, and he said they've been theorizing behind it. And then Stephen Danoon tells on himself. All right. Now peep it. So in that theory, they were theorizing that from the sound from all the phones, I don't know how they did that the sound didn't come from away. Like if I'm sitting here and someone shoots me, it didn't come from away. From according to all the phones, the sound came from right there, right where Charlie was sitting. Okay, wow. And then someone started talking about all those phones that blew up in Israel when they rigged all them explosives to all them cell phones, and all the Palestinians' faces and heads was getting blown up and shit, and their hands was getting blown off because they was holding their phones. All right, so it turns out, and someone else said it too, that what happened was that his mic blew up, okay, and then they gave something. Well, they started, you know, and in their theory, they also saw what he said. He saw CAT scans, and he saw and he learned how to read CAT scans. He learned how to read MRIs because of the work that he used to do. Now, so we all know who Stephen Danoon is, right? The Israeli News Live dude. It's Danoon with a D. I thought it was Banoon too. It's Danoon. But what he used to do with his profession, and I'm assuming in the Mossad or CIA, whatever, his profession when he was in Israel, was he used to stage, and he told himself, he used to stage assassinations. And I'm like, how the fuck do you stage assassination? All right? And so wait a minute. So I'm staging assassination. So I just assassinated him. Right. And now that's basically what, right. And so he's admitting that the government that he was a part of, they do this. That's the first part. So with his theory and his receipts, they know exactly what happened to this man. He was an inside job, and it was Edomite on Edomite crime. Because he, especially with the fact that while he was sitting in the chair, all right, if you got, but first of all, we know the convenient 30-06 that they left, you know, and the guy on the roof and all the other bullshit, all right, and then the guy that they arrested. And what happened was that when the microphone blew up, that's why you saw his shirt moving around, and then his neck exploded forward, and then the hole came out instead of sinking in with a hole coming out the back. It should have been spurting out the back. And I'm like, why is he leaking? You saw the bump come, and then a hole, and then the blood shot out. So apparently he had a fast death because he bled out within a minute, but it was very painful because it didn't sever his spinal column, so he was still completely conscious, and even though he was, you know, he could feel the pain. So they really fucked him up because basically it was a assassination. The equipment malfunctioned, still did the job, but it made it worse. And then it also made it to where it was supposed to hit in his chest. So, but something with it went off and it blew inward and it came up and went out of his neck. All right, and that's what, you know. So that's theory, but all the physical signs show that it's not theory. Okay.
The definition of theory. A theory is a structured, evidence-based explanation that explains, predicts, or interprets a specific set of phenomenon. Yeah, phenomenon. Often acted as an established model derived from repeated observations.
I got the etymology.
Oh, okay.
This is the theory, etymology. Conception, mental scheme. Yes, conception, mental scheme. 1950 from late Latin theoria, from Greek theoria, contemplation, speculation.
That's it.
Ooh, contemplation, speculation. Okay, so they speculate.
Speculate.
But once something, so for example, it was a theory that a particular shot that people was getting was causing myocarditis and all these other blood clots. It was all theory until the bodies began to show that whoever those people were, that actually happened to them. Well, you know, when the once all the undertakers, you know, started trying to embalm these bodies, and they trying to embalm bodies and get them prepared for the, you know, to send them off, and
They can clean them up.
and it's like, what the fuck? So they start pulling all these 2 and 3 foot long clogs out of them. Then that's one evidence. That's one receipt. Then you had professional athletes, soccer players, which are some of the most fittest kids, young, yeah, but you know, I'm just
On the
going with
planet.
professional soccer players. Some of the most physically fit athletes on the planet are soccer players. I don't know if you're aware of it, but on the average soccer player runs about 7 miles per game. If you weren't aware of that.
Full speed.
All right, when you look at the size of that field, they're running up and down that field non-stop, and they rotate in. They'll bring 1 or 2 out, but they never stop running. So
Depending on what
they're doing, plus the training and the conditioning, these guys are fit. So you know, and then they tried to say, well, you know, what was it? It was just fake footage when all these niggas was dying all over the place.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of fake footage.
You know, exactly. That's a lot of, you know, especially when what happens that you got thousands of people at those soccer games, and you know, soccer fans are some of the most serious fanatics and fans on the planet, man. So they all got their cameras, and so I guess, you know, these thousands of cameras that watch these athletes from, like, you know, 100 different angles fall and collapse and get carried off the field in a stretcher. I guess that all that footage is just fake.
Documented.
And that's before
They just made it all up. So 2 more words, barbecue shop. And somebody get Isaiah 29 and 15, by the way.
All they
You
do
got
that,
something?
I just want to reiterate something from that definition Canassa read. It just says a theory is structured, evidence-based explanation.
Structure.
And evidence-based. So it's not just a wild guess. You looking at facts, you looking at, like it says, evidence, and then you make this speculation. This one, that part, yeah.
So when you saw the thing move around, all right, and then his neck bulge and the hole come out, blood spurts out. That's evidence.
Yes.
Can I back
That's
that point?
evidence. All right, but before you hold that thought, hold on to it, don't lose it. Get that, and then somebody no, there was something you said, and then damn, what is it?
You have one other word.
Staged. Look up the word staged and look up the word assassin. Okay, because if to me, Stephen Benoon told you who did it, because it was already being speculated that the little hats were behind it. They're enforcers. You know who their enforcers are. You know, Mossad and IDF. But yeah. So look up the word staged and look up the word assassin. All right, and now get that scripture about.
I got it,
Well,
bro.
we got it.
Isaiah 29 and 15. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us, who knoweth us.
And so these people are always scheming and always doing dirt. For example, there was they used Marines to hijack a cargo ship, an Iranian cargo ship. Okay, but supposedly before they hijacked, this was the eve before they were to sit down again and try to come to some agreement. So we agreed, okay, we're all right. You know, we ain't got no reason to trust you, but okay, we'll sit down and talk to you one more time. So on the eve of when they were supposed to sit down and have these talks, they had the Marines jack a cargo ship. and came on the ship fully armed, like a damn SWAT team, like Marines. You know, and ran up. I'm the captain now. Turn this ship around. Right. Okay. And so, you know, these people are always scheming. They're always trying to hide something. But, you know, look, and you can't make deals with a pit viper, man.
Man,
It's poison, and it's always gonna bite you.
Yep.
It ain't even got to be hungry to bite you. It's just gonna bite you because you're there. Like,
what I
is this
do.
in my vicinity?
It's what I do.
Right.
I didn't even want to. I didn't even want to bite you, but I bit you.
Pretty much.
It's what's
All right.
happening.
Yeah, look up stage.
Okay, so stage refers to events deliberately arranged for effect, appearing artificial rather than spontaneous.
Wow.
It also just
So what would be the purpose to stage an assassination? Which means you really killed someone, but you staged it, but nigga, you just assassinated them. Just call it what it is. But you needed a particular person to die so that you can what? So that you can push forward. Now we got to go get revenge and kill all these motherfuckers. Whatever, whatever it is that they did, you stage. So read that again.
It says stage refers to events deliberately arranged for effect.
These are the people ruling over you. All right. And how many times you've heard the world's a stage?
Yeah.
All right.
Tell them this.
It's a stage. The world is a stage, man.
It's just like
They never let a good crisis go to waste.
Yeah.
Okay.
hey, and then even how they fake serve shit, you know.
That's the point. It's staged.
Because
It is fake.
Wag the dog.
You got the guy from the islands. Supposedly, is a guy that look just like him. Same stutter, same everything, and he riding around Palm Beach Pete.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they saying he got the same stutter as the guy, same everything, tattoos, everything, and he riding around Miami like ain't nothing, like with a whole nother alias.
Wouldn't be. Yeah. It is
I
what
mean,
it is.
he literally look exactly, sound exactly, talk exactly, tattoos exactly, just like the motherfucker.
So
just
when
like
he
the
went in
motherfucker.
college, he said, "Damn, I look like this nigga. Let me go get
You
the
know
same
what I'm saying?
tattoo in the same spot.
Yeah.
But
Maybe
that's
I
not
can get up.
far-fetched, though.
I can get all the holes anyway." No, it's not far fetched
So
at
they
all.
do that. They do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
they do
there
do
was
that.
that movie called The Prince.
He,
You know.
when they first seen him, he was in the Bentley, so I mean, he already had money, but you know, he saw that money down there. So whatever, that's another story.
All right, so now we looked up. That was enough on stage. Let's look up assassin, and then we put them two definitions together. What you got, Shane?
This quote, in politics, nothing happens by accident. If it happens, you can bet it was planned that way. FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Damn. So and these are the people that are ruling over us, that are now they're being found out. See, the world is finding them out, and the world hates them.
And that says, while not using the exact wording, if anything happened, the government did it. This FDR quote is the most famous expression of the sentiment that events are planned by political powers.
So can anyone say 911? But anyway,
I know the plane come through the building,
yeah,
unharmed.
unharmed.
Yeah.
They made it through all them steel girders.
I know.
And the nose popped out. Well, and that's one of the reasons why they stopped showing that, because they got called out.
Elder, they said that shit about
But
the.
the footage is still out there. So
They said about the on that tarmac when there's two planes in it. So he's like, so you're telling me that this vehicle did more damage than steel beams?
Yeah.
Protect-
And
protect
a certain
airplanes.
group of people happen to not show up at work that day.
Yeah.
a
And then-
particular group of
Particular
people.
group,
Yeah.
right?
And the biggest
The
piece of
ooze.
the evidence to the theory that it was an inside job is when they checked the military flight records, only aircraft in the sky that day was a military plane that's able to be equipped with the projectors they use. So yeah, the U.S. military for certain operations, you got projectors they put on planes
Right.
and stage whatever the fuck they staging. And they said the only vehicle in the sky in the area they was that plane.
And right, and there's a receipt for that.
And that's why you see that shit come
And,
through.
yeah, and they also allowed that one plane to fly with the Saudis on it too. And then and I found it funny too. Even back then, it's strange that they said that 19 Saudi Arabians were. And I'm like, well, isn't Saudis like our allies?
Our allies,
Right.
And then secondly, then I thought that, and then the next thing was, well, why y'all going to Iraq then?
Right.
That confused the fuck out of me,
Oh,
and I was super interested in it because, when that shit happened, my old unit deployed. So I'm like, what the fuck? I knew niggas,
Yeah. Because Esau, he figured as long as it's a towel head, it don't matter, right? All the evidence. Hey, what he said, Durka Mohammed Jihad, was that Team America World Police?
How many
Yeah, as long as he looks
World
like
Police.
yeah, Durka Mohammed Jihad.
how many Saudis got license to fly planes? They ain't raised no suspicion and shit.
Yeah, so you know,
Just-
a bunch of bullshit, just more lies into their history books that have been
Like
disproved.
Hughes.
How you know the lie IQs? You know it's pretty sad when you have a nation and a country that's selling and teaching history to their children. All right, I remember my client told me how her daughter came home. She was like 6 years old, crying, and she was crying about 9/11. You know, and because and she wasn't even born. But she learned about it at school, and it just kind of fucked. That she was like, how can somebody do that? You know, what kind of mommy? What kind of people would do this, mommy? You know, and it really messed her up. And I'm like, you got this baby crying over a fucking lie, over some shit that you did. Well, it's like, well, sweetie, your people did it. And they did it to their own people, so that they can, yeah.
So they can listen into your conversations and take you to me going to the airport.
Exactly.
For your safety, not theirs, yours.
And then they have receipts that George Bush brother took a claim on that building before it even happened. They have
Insurance
receipts on
claim.
that, yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the Jew that bought the building and put insurance on it the day before.
Yeah, he literally renewed the insurance policy.
It wasn't George W.'s brother. Don't-
It wasn't George
Don't talk
W.
crazy to the Bushes. I'll come
Yeah.
on.
Well, they said it. a
Ain't no
long
one
time
from talking
ago.
shit when he was
It had
president.
nothing to do with the Bushes.
Okay.
They had nothing. That was a little hat
Right.
that owned that building.
Right.
And
And
they
he
didn't show up to
renewed
work. And he renewed.
made sure it was up to
He-
standard.
He basically.
people.
Yeah, and then he even put the receipts on. I mean the insurance on building 7.
That's what I was about to say.
Was the third building because people don't even talk about it. It was 3 buildings went down.
Right.
All right, not just 2. And there was one that was half the
The
size.
third
of the other
tower's
2.
going down.
Because you had one that was like a 49 or 50 stories that did nothing touched it and it went down to
Yeah. They forgot about that one.
yeah.
And all
And
this,
it turns out that a lot of documents and receipts to shit that they didn't want to be seen
Was in there.
was in that building.
Yep.
So that's why so when the towers came down, they was like, well, you know what?
we gotta take this one.
all these secrets and shit, this shit go. And and I don't know, we normally when you see like there's a movie that's coming out where a plane goes down. I mean, there's plenty of movies where planes go down, and you always got survivors and dead people and bodies and luggage and chairs and shit. These planes just disappeared. There was like no luggage fell out the sky, no people fell out the sky, even if it blew up. All right,
Except the perpetrators.
except but all that and this one nigga's
His passport.
slightly severed,
Yeah.
Driver's license.
right? It just flickered in the wind through all that hot ash and fire and explosion and
Right.
gas and right. And this
Right.
No engines.
We got him.
What do we have here?
It's like
exactly
engines.
right.
I got it.
I was like, damn, them niggas got Scooby Doo in the game to find this. Go ahead, brother.
I got a quote. This is a quote from Sir Walter Scott. It says, "Oh, what a
And
tangle."
who was a Negro, by the way?
God.
All right, they lie about Walter Scott. That was actually I went to that grade school. They tore that school down after we were the last class too.
Wow.
Go ahead, because Mount Carmel bought that property.
Wow.
That was a gigantic, beautiful building too. It's big enough to be a damn high school. But go ahead, brother.
It says, "Oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we set out practice to deceive." It basically broke down. It means that dishonesty creates complex spiraling complications that eventually spiral out of control and ensnare the liar.
There you go.
And that's what you're seeing right now in
Like finding
4K.
Right.
Passports, but no black box.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what something though?
Fireproof.
It's funny that you say that because when you started saying that, it reminded me. Remember that cartoon Esau Fables? It used to say that thing.
Aesop.
Aesop. Yeah.
Aesop.
I-
I used to say that too.
I like that.
That was Bill Cosby.
Yeah, you changing it up, brother.
Esau's favorite.
Aesop's favorite.
Aesop Fables.
I had a quote real quick.
Go ahead, brother.
This proving back, like the Michael II, it's empowered Esau head, man, the elites, right? This from J. Edgar Hoover. It says there would never be another black Messiah unless we create him.
Oh, damn. Hoover said
Well,
that.
he was a pretty proud son of a bitch, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that whole book that he called himself believing in talks about nothing but a so-called black Messiah.
Mhm.
Well, I like to play this video. I think this one, Apostle Ramlab sent to me. These videos are just hot. Let me get rid of this one. Delete that. No, because I got a list of videos here. These Edomite women just snapping on Esau, and it's beautiful, man. But I like to play this one. And this chick right here, her mother's a Jake and her father's like Italian or some shit. But this is straight up nigga woman, man. And, you know, there'd be a lot of Jake out there talking about white woman goes off on white men. Well, this particular woman, this ain't no white girl. You can just hear her and know she's not. But they're being found out, and everybody's seeing it, and everybody's seeing that like that one professor in that one college, and all the Edomites were so offended when that one professor came to the conclusion that that they need to be eliminated, and then the world would be a better place because he's measuring up all the evidence. In theory, what you say once evidence presented is not theory anymore, right? If you have theory and then there's evidence to back up what you're saying, it's no longer theory. It's just like how they try to say conspiracy theories, and then all of a sudden all the receipts come because because be truthful, over the last forever, the conspiracy theorists are batting 1,000 because most of the things that they've called conspiracy theories have turned out to be true. Like niggas hanging on wires and shit bouncing around, and then all the video shows up that's exactly what they're doing, and they try to tell you that these people are in space somewhere.
Right.
And then people that works at the studio is screenshotting it with their cell phone. It's like
Telephone call.
because somebody got to be sitting there with a camera going, I can't believe it. These dumbass people really believe these people are going in and out of space like that. If they're going past the Van Allen belt,
One
coming
senator,
back.
I think he was coming out of work.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, he was like, we never went to space. We shot that shit in the Hollywood.
And now, and then they threw movies and threw songs. What was that movie with the little yellow thing? The Groove movie? What's the little, the Minions? How the Minions walked in on the studio when they were shooting. The dudes from Red Hot Chili Peppers, it's a lyric of one of their lines.
Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in the Hollywood basement.
Yeah. That's one of their songs, right?
Californication.
Then Stanley Kubrick's before, and then it's funny that he was fine, and then when he said that, and then he turned around and did that Eyes Wide Shut. They was like, no, we gotta get rid of this.
They actually had to revamp it because towards the ending scene, he actually had some PDF shit in it.
Oh.
So they had to remove the PDF shit out before they released the final copy.
Yeah. He put a couple,
wow.
Mm-hmm.
He put a couple hints in what was that movie he did with didn't he do The Shining?
Yep.
Yeah.
It was a couple hints that he was putting in that movie too as well.
Yeah.
It was this stage number.
I'm watching that movie.
Yep. It was
The Shining?
Yeah, The Shining.
Man, The Shining off the chain, bro.
Yeah.
It also proves, and he also they go to tell you that they are aware that you come back.
Mm-hmm. That scary ass movie.
It's not scary.
No, the first one when I was little was scared the shit out of me. But it's a good movie, man. But it's especially now. But then the part 2, 20-something years later, Dr. Sleep.
Dr. Sleep is cold.
Bro, it's cold. You got to see it. You got to watch both those movies.
Don't watch it around like you missing out.
Both the movies are heavy, bro.
It don't matter.
And they're good because the Dr. Sleep matches up right with the Eyes Wide Shut shit.
It lets you really know about, about that stuff that they like to extract from scared children. What was that one cartoon? That one cartoon, well, I didn't want to say the word. But that one cartoon. Monsters Inc. Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Damn, that's exactly what that shit was about.
You watch
watched
Sleep
that
Doctor.
movie.
You watch Monsters Inc. That's scary.
That's it.
This nigga's scared.
Who told y'all it was a chicken?
But real quick, I'm gonna go ahead and play this, turn the sound up. Lock in, brothers. I want to play this video. This chick always go hard, man. And then, she used to irritate the shit out of me, but now I'm actually starting to like this broad, man.
Oh. Nah, I mean Clank. What? One word.
Scare being Kate Clank.
Now she said that she's saying this as a white person with a full chest out, and she hopes that it hurts. What's going on? What's going on out there? Go outside with that shit. What's wrong with them? I don't know.
I heard about that.
They out of fucking order.
Fucking Jake, man.
So here we go.
This is a white person with all disrespect in my full chest. Offends and triggers a lot of white people. This is a white person with all disrespect in my full chest out, and I genuinely hope it offends and triggers a lot of white people in the comments, right? The reason that so many global alt-right white people cling to the current system that is the capitalistic United States of America is because without the benefits of colonization and white privilege, they would live a subpar life. These people are capable of nothing great. Nothing. They would be the societal rejects and the welfare babies that they often accuse of stealing resources they've never fucking contributed. They need white privilege to succeed. I don't. You could abolish white privilege. You could abolish systematic oppression effective tomorrow. And not only would I succeed in life, I would excel. I know that because if a lot of people came from where I came from, they couldn't make what I made. I'm very proud of what I've done with my life, given the circumstances I was fucking given. I know that I don't need white privilege to succeed, but these people genuinely do. They're not privileged. They're not superior. In fact, they're inferior. Their entire existence is contingent upon racism, upon systematic oppression, upon flexing basically the biological lotto that they earned just by being fucking born. There's an entire community that exists in New Jersey that spends their entire life living off of welfare until they attend a real estate convention, put their name on a list, and post-genocide inherit land that they could never take. They could never maintain, they could never build, they could never develop. Everything has to be handed to these people because they do not have the work ethic, the diligence, the intelligence, the stick-to-itiveness, the know-how. They have no means to succeed in life. So I say this with all disrespect. I don't give a chicken fried fuck about white privilege. Take all that shit away. Re-implement DEI. Abolish critical race theory. Get rid of systematic oppression. Give everybody equal rights and equal opportunities across the board. I'm still going to be exactly what I was meant to be. A lot of white people can't say the same thing, and that's why they cling to the old way. See, this is a white person.
Now, and there's two women that appear to be pale. Now, the spirit already let you know.
Right.
That bra been gone for years.
Chicken fried fuck.
But
Absolutely.
but the point is that it was reposted by another white woman.
Oh wow. Okay.
Okay. He was the one underneath being quiet, just pointing to her and agreeing. Right. All right. So, with that being said, somebody get Job 27:15. Absolutely.
This is Genesis 27:40. And by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. It shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. So Esau was prophesied that he was going to live by the sword. He's going to rule the world But it's gonna be by the sword, man.
And they say by building.
Right.
It was by the sword. So basically, stab, chop, cut, steal, build my shit.
Right. There you go.
All right, or go build that shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Now give it to me.
Right.
Right.
Right. He, you know, it's like what was that one brother made that statement when he said, you know, Jake invent shit and then Esau invented the
patent office.
The patent office.
Right.
You know.
Hey, Elder, you seen that clip? There was a slave master and he had the nigga in the back. He said, hurry up and finish making the Constitution, nigga. Hurry up and finish writing that Constitution, nigga. Hey, he had Benjamin Banneker. He made the White House, man.
Right.
You know, you.
Right.
Hey, and another thing, I was talking to Jake, the 90-year-old brother I was telling y'all about. He said when he grew up, it was called Negro history. He said a lot of those inventions, I forgot the inventions he said, a lot of shit that Esau say that's his, Jake really made everything.
Of course he
You
did.
know what I'm saying?
I mean, we've
That
shown
patent
the
shit,
receipts
yeah.
thousands of times, bro.
Yeah.
I got a book at home that from Batak gave me that book.
Yeah.
I got a book at home,
Dang, it was way
and that book was a matter of fact, that book was $150 back then. And it's a book full of inventions that were created by Jake and the filament for the light bulb. Every
Right.
time you turn on the light switch, and it was his name was something Latimer. I forget his name, but nevertheless, what they teach you in school is Edison.
Yeah.
They'll say, who invented the light bulb? Lewis Latimer.
Yeah.
All right, but they say no, it was Lewis Latimer, and there's a actual federal court case, case law to prove it because he won the court case, but he said, no man, this is my invention, not his, and Latimer won the court case.
Lewis Latimer.
Lewis Latimer.
Yeah. Oh, I look at the video today and it showed, they said how stupid racists are. Basically how stupid Esau is. So what these people did, they took a test and the color blue, but they'll write the color blue in green ink, or they'll write the color red in yellow ink, and the Edomite racists failed every damn time. They failed that test. Every time.
Wow.
I got a precept, if I may. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 16. It says, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners? And so, like, the scrutiny is on Esau now. The whole world is waking up that Esau is the problem of the earth.
That he's a fraud, he's an imposter.
Mhm.
I did a video with what's his name, Bolton, whatever his name is, that one Arab, that Ishmaelite guy who I believe he's Jake as well. But he really went in on him. Basically, she just echoed what he said.
Mhm.
He just said it more eloquently.
Yeah.
That brother Smooth with his speech.
Yeah, yeah.
And she just didn't give a flying chicken shit.
Right.
Chicken fuck,
A
whatever
fried
the fuck
chicken
she said.
fuck, man.
Right. Yeah, she a straight nigga woman, man.
No fried chicken.
Yeah.
A chicken fried fuck.
Absolutely, brother.
This is Isaiah 30:32-5. The vile person shall no more be called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. Hey, and look, man.
That's a great precept, brother.
Hey, man. Look, this is where I like the way you die, boy. This is where you go down, man.
Well, Trump is the prime example of the scripture being fulfilled because
Right.
he say this shit. He don't give a fuck. He tell you. He said we finna annihilate a whole civilization.
Goodbye.
That nigga something like about a whole civilization.
He's not getting no fuck.
He don't give a
Goodbye
fuck.
already.
He say it.
And people found themselves so embarrassed and ashamed of him.
Yeah.
All right. Like, I got all these what do you call them? These Democrat women, and it's funny. Like my clients, and I pit them against each other in speech, and it's kind of fun to sit back and watch them. And how the ones that hate Trump and the ones that support Trump, but then nevertheless, man, they're just so fickle, and now they're all just lost. And they come, and I find them in conversation, they're ashamed of their men.
Mm-hmm.
They really are. They're ashamed.
Yeah.
It's like when we start talking about things, they look down, they look away, and
Yeah.
because they literally feel shame about the leadership and what's happening in that country, and especially when it just comes to the fact, well, you know, this is white males.
Right.
These are white men that are failing on everything, and every aspect of this society is failing, and it was under white male control.
Exactly.
So who's the problem?
Salaka too. And just to say this, them bitches was all good. The only reason they got a problem now is because Esau fucked up. When he made himself an angel of light, his people bought into that.
Yeah.
So now it's coming all this wickedness. They really just ashamed that they're caught.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got the precept too. Yeah, they just ashamed they caught. So now they jumping ship. This is Sirach 41 and 4. The inheritance of sinners' children shall perish, and their posterity, which means children, shall have a perpetual reproach. The children will complain of an ungodly father, because they shall be reproached for his sake.
Ooh.
So they've been all for this shit. They
didn't say nothing.
Yeah. The Emmett Till bitch, she knew that what happened with him.
Right.
She didn't say shit. All these Edomite bitches that done fuck a Jake because, I mean, what they say, oh, you like Tay Diggs. Or they call every nigga Tay Diggs, right? And then they found out, well, no, he raped me. They doesn't get away with that shit because he was a nigga.
Right.
Yeah, that's what they do, man. They ashamed only because they're caught.
They got caught. And not only that, women are conformists.
Yes.
Exactly.
All right, and Edomite women can see that they literally trying to secure their place. Well, your place is gonna be slavery. It's really nothing, you know.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you marry, some of you will be concubines, and you know you get to come to the big house. But at the end of the day, you still gonna be right.
Yeah, you gonna still be a slave, bitch. You still gonna get stabbed. You finna get all this. No mercy to you, bitch. You gonna get clapped and killed, man.
When Obadiah time comes around, you know, when the great bonfire, when it's that time, you going to the fire with your men.
Still gotta get eradicated.
Can I read this real quick, Elder? This is the definition of churl, right? A churl is a rude, surely ill-bred person.
Churlish.
Yeah, he's ill-bred, right? Historically referred to a peasant, which before they were Rothschilds, what were they called? Bowers. Which means what? A peasant. To a peasant or a farm laborer in the Middle Ages. This the churlish person. He's ill-bred, man. Yeah. You're a goddamn abomination. That's why when you were created, your father looked like I shot. Wasted away.
Is she, man.
What am I do with this?
Like, right. You got some pops. Bring it out. I think Capo, when you holding something?
No, I had a report. Go ahead and bring the scriptures.
Okay, go ahead, bring out that Joel, bring out yours and bring out yours.
It's Joel 27. I'm gonna start at 15.
Because you know I got more. You know what? Hold on to that.
All right.
Look.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a lineup. We got Tanya Ray Fox and Kylie Girls. Kylie won't play them all.
They gonna hurt her.
Yeah, I believe they gonna make Kylie. They gonna disappear her.
They gonna hurt her.
She tearing them off, man. Okay. She hurt them. Bring yours out.
This is Jeremiah 50 and 12. Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hithermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, and a dry land, and a desert.
Wow, and you know what? And that scripture is literally talking about how Britain is ashamed of America.
Yes.
But the scriptures are manifold because there are many Edomite women that complain about how wicked their sons are.
Right.
She said, we birthed you, we raised you, and now we're ashamed of you. I've heard them say this. Right. All right. It's so they're on their way down, man. They really are falling right in front of our faces, man. But go ahead, brother.
It's Sirach 10, verse 30 and 31. The poor man is honored for his skill, and the rich man is honored for his riches. He that is honored in poverty, how much more in riches? And he that is dishonorable in riches, how much more in poverty?
Wow. Yeah. How much more in poverty? See, he's dishonored in riches now. And you know, and he's just such a bastard. You know, why not just, didn't we were talking about this last night? Yeah. Nigga, you can't see that you won. Right. Just enjoy your kingdom. Stop, you know, you doing too much. Yeah. Right. And so basically you just didn't know how to stop, and now you went overboard, and now everybody, the great noticing. Everybody see your ass.
The scriptures tell you, a covetous man is not satisfied with his portion. You know, he got to keep going. He got to keep going until his own self-destruction.
And that's exactly what that's where he is.
It's the
That's
curse.
his curse.
It's
That's
the
his
curse.
curse.
It's lucky, brother. It's the curse that was put on the serpent. He was cursed to go upon his belly. That's what Sirach talks about. A man who's envious of himself. Esau can't help but go after. He gotta have it all, man. That's his job, man. That brought him to his fucking knees. He could have been let it go. He had basically. I gave
That one G-Saw won it all.
On fiat. They all got with Central Bank. You could have let that shit go. You ain't need the last two little countries.
Right.
You could have let Gaddafi have his little portion of North Africa. But you doing all this shit just make the world realize more and more that you fucked up the plan. That's why Britain hates you. You couldn't stay in the background.
Right.
But you're doing shit, man.
Yeah.
Make it. Hey, what's the book? The Making of a
All
Terrorist.
up in the
You kept
video.
doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
America is Suge Knight. Facts, man.
Right.
You get away with murder. You get away hanging with them ice over the balcony. The whole industry fear you. You get to go before all the famous Edomites push French President Macron out the way.
Pop your collar.
Right.
Yeah.
But you want
Now
to keep going.
I'm here now.
You fucking up their gas line, fucking up their supply chain.
Right.
We had a good thing going here. You went too far.
That's why in Job it says he's gonna cast all that shit out his belly, man.
Yeah.
You done bit off more than you could chew, bro. And then you didn't share none of that. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, Joker, after he robbed the bank and shit, he said he's like, no, I shoot the the bus driver. He was killing all the motherfuckers that he robbed the bank with.
He gave orders to motherfuckers to kill each other.
I shoot the
And you want that's all the Edomites mad because they
ain't get their cut.
they want the piece of pie they never gonna get and they frustrated they ain't never get that shit.
And Esau hate worse
Yeah.
than a
Going
nigga
down.
telling him about himself.
That's
why he hate us.
Yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man. Neither. Go ahead. This is Habakkuk 2:4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. This Edomite ain't right. Yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, which is his doctrine. Neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire is hell, and as death.
And the scripture says, there's two things that's not satisfied. Oh, it says hell, the grave, the barren womb.
Right. And he said
insatiable.
And is as death and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto himself all nations and heap unto himself all people. This devil can't be satisfied, just like
death.
Yes, he has death. So you can't and you can't nothing satisfy this devil.
Hey,
It don't matter. The Lord didn't really gave Esau the whole world, Job 9:24. And this dude still ain't satisfied. He still want more. Nigga, you got everything.
He couldn't take a bottle. He couldn't take a bottle on the bitch and go chill.
Ain't never been a bouncer.
He ain't even want the bitch.
It ain't never been a bouncer
Really
in front of
wanted her
him.
brother. That's what
Right, he wanted her brother.
Yeah.
He gave me this bitch. I want the fuck with your brother.
Yeah, ain't never been a bouncer in front of a graveyard and said we filled the capacity. You know,
No.
the earth. You know,
Yeah, get on the list. You can't come in.
yeah. We got too many dead bodies. Nah, ask
Absolutely.
us.
I got a precept. This Psalms 80. Psalm 62:3. How long will ye imagine mischief against a man? Ye shall be slain, all of you, as a barren wall shall ye be, and as a tottering fence, because all they do is find ways to put their own people down, including us. They want to keep us down, imagining this mischief, bringing up this lies, bringing up their democracy, and then it's all failing against them because now they got, like y'all said, too greedy.
Right.
And the lie IQ has failed them, man.
That's right. Verse
All right.
4.
Go ahead, brother.
Verse 4. They only consult to cast him down from his excellency. They delight in lies. They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly.
Wow. Could somebody, anybody just pull up a list of J conventions? Just,
J conventions?
We talked about it. Just want to mention this man is, and most of these inventions, so-called white people, the ones that might be watching or criticizing whatever, most of them aren't aware of this. All right, and some of them are. All right, but they still walk around proud. But this is
They made the video game.
Well, one with country music.
Yeah, the Odyssey.
Man, Jay made
yeah, I
it.
had one of them Odysseys when I was a shorty. Let's I'm gonna play Miss Tanya Ray Fox now, and I'll play one of these from Kylie Brewer. And I'm telling you, man, this Kylie, man, like you said, Couple, I think they gonna
hurt
they
that
gonna
girl.
hurt her.
They gonna
Yeah,
hurt that
Esau really mad. I mean, they be on her channel like, bitch, shut up, stop talking about us.
And then she'll expose them when they DM
And
her.
when, so when they DM her and threaten and shit, she like, look at this one.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, his dick is really short.
They gonna hurt that girl.
They gonna but
DEI white men have showed in my comments. Let me just make this. The DEI white men have showed in my comments. Let me just make this clear. We all know you guys have most of your jobs because of white supremacy DEI. Because you're a white man. We know that. White women, we benefited really well from actual DEI, for sure. And from our proximity to white supremacist men, of course. That's why you guys get so mad when I talk about this stuff, because you see me and you're like, wow, I know, isn't that a bitch? Either way, we all know you guys are underqualified. So you can say racist stuff, like it's okay for the NFL to have a majority black workforce and labor force, but not have equivalent representation in coaching and front offices and ownership. You could say that, but what we actually know is going on is that you are terrified of the idea of actually needing to be qualified, the most qualified person in a room, in a league, in a company. All you have is the lore passed down to you by your shitty racist families that you are entitled to something. And so when the Attorney General of Florida, who spent the better part of the last decade licking the bottom of the stiletto boots that Ron DeSantis wears, when he sees an opportunity, he's gonna grab it. He's gonna grasp at that. You guys are the most insecure losers on the planet. The only way you stay on top is by making sure other people don't have a shot. But we all know it. There's no turning back. There's no way for you to make us unknow that you are very.
see, she said, we know.
Like they are architects of a real home. Because that's the only thing they have to compare it to. They don't know what it takes to actually build a house. The sandcastle is the closest thing they've ever come. So I get why you think you're all so fucking qualified. No one's ever told you you're not, and you've never actually had to fucking work your way through a system twice, 3 times, 10 times as hard. So of course you fucking feel oppressed by any idea of equality. And so every time you hear a white person, a white man or woman say something like this, call us out on our own bullshit, on our own white bullshit, you think that there's been some sort of mystical spell cast upon me.
Big
Because that's the
time.
only way you would ever betray your own whiteness. You would only ever betray your own whiteness because of sex, attraction, power, right? That's the only way you would ever consider not leaning into your perceived white supremacy. No matter what the NFL does, no matter what these industries do, no matter how many times you try to stack the deck even more, it's not going to change the fact that we know you guys are fucking losers. The DEI white men have shown my comments. Let me just make this clear. We all know you got.
It started again. Yeah,
That nigga Trump did exactly what she said. He said, I basically I started from the bottom, did it myself with a small loan of $1 million from my father.
Oh my God.
Man, he took over a foot.
That nigga said small.
That
Of $1 million.
Right.
That's doing it yourself.
That's why you have a term called.
$1 million in the 70s was.
Yeah.
What is that today?
Yeah. That's why you have a term called white fragility. It was one. I don't know if it was one. It was one.
I
of
got a
the,
book, and I did a couple lessons on it.
It was one of the
On white
elites.
fragility.
If I may say, Slocky Elder, it was the elite. He basically said that competition is a sin. Okay, competition is a sin. And I'm thinking about this. You had all these years of blackface and all this shit. Drewski did one fucking skit And everybody, all these motherfuckers were up in arms over that fucking
Well,
Juicy skit.
they had what, like 40 years of Jim Crow?
Yeah, 40 years of Jim Crow.
50 years?
Yeah, and Juicy did one skit, and it was a small hat that said this, believe it or fucking not. He said the reason why you're so mad is because they did it better. You can't fucking compete. Anything Jake do, Jake is the form of all things. Anything we touch, it turns to gold, man.
Because you know what? I hate that nigga Drewski, but I have to admit, man, he nailed that bitch.
Man, bro.
He became her. He really did nail that shit. And whoever did that makeup was some serious witchcraft because he looked like an ugly ass version of her.
Elon said whoever his makeup artist is, he need to give her a raise. Yeah. It fooled his artificial intelligence. So when people was looking up her, it was pulling up.
It was pulling up. It's over.
It's over, man. Yeah, hey, man. You know what's funny? Because this is what I said about Michael Jackson, right? I said Michael Jackson, his goal was to show you Edomites that he could be a better white person than you.
No, it's 8.5 million.
8.5 million.
Wow.
7 years worth 8.5.
That's crazy.
So so basically $8.5 million.
He gave his
So $1 million went an extra long way.
Yeah.
Actually, can I read this?
Wow, bring it out, brother.
Okay, this is according to a 2018 New York Times investigation. Donald Trump received the equivalent of at least $413 million in 2018 dollars from his father, Fred Trump's real estate empire, largely through loans and tax avoiding schemes over several decades. While Trump often cited a small loan of $1 million, records show he was effectively a millionaire by age 8.
Yes, his father's rich.
So and then his father was a damn pimp and a whoremonger and drug dealer and all that shit, man.
So
and sex trafficking and all that, man.
It says
And
here.
real estate was a side shit.
Right.
Yeah. He was running brothels.
Watch this.
And taking payments in gold and silver.
Oh, wow.
In case you didn't know.
Here you go.
His grandfather.
Initial
That's how his
valuation.
father got the money to give to him. Salaki, go ahead, brother.
Initial valuation in 1974, when Donald Trump took over his father's company, estimations suggest the firm was worth roughly $200 million, with total proceeds spreading among siblings.
So he's been even spreading among his siblings. He's been a millionaire since he was 8 years old. So he full of shit.
Absolutely.
And a system that completely and totally benefited him. And
oh no,
No, then the way they commit wealth in New York, like 78, them like something like the Bronx, New York, it's all slum neighborhoods and shit.
He built the Bronx and shit.
Yeah. And they bought it for dirt cheap, and now it's worth a lot of money.
and just like they gentrification, and they've been doing that for a long time, brother.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, I remember watching that movie, Fort Apache, the Bronx. That shit, the Bronx looked like fucking Beirut.
Yeah,
it's like Lebanon or something.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, they got that shit for cheap and shit.
Oh yeah, they did a lot of dirty practices. That nigga had them motherfuckers build that casino and didn't pay him. He filed bankruptcy, so he didn't have to pay them workers. They still mad about that shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
They let them complete everything, and
It's like those Edomites that let all them those illegal workers, do all that work on their roof and fix their house. And then call ICE.
ICE on, same shit.
Can I hit this? This Genesis 25, and I'm gonna get straight to the point. 23. And the Lord said it to her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elders shall serve the younger. So just like these Edomite bitches been saying, or whatever they are, been saying that Esau was underqualified. And in their mind, they have that pride, like it says in Isaiah 10, they're not all my sons as princes, they not as great as this nation. And that's the Esau mindset, man. And the fact of the matter is, if you just look, it was a nigga this year, he set the fastest rate for still wrestling. So basically, you ride a bull or a horse or whatever.
Jump off and grab.
And you gotta jump off and grab a fucking steer.
Horns.
Grab their horns and drive them to the ground.
You know who got the fastest time this year is a nigger. So I see in the comments say, why we can't let white folks have anything? Jake just that wrong. Landry's white. That's his name.
But they go to show you how stupid they are. Because the original
Boys
Cowboys
were
was Judah and Issachar.
Yeah, just like on hockey, you know, niggas always say.
Right, exactly.
You got a nigga that's performing good in hockey now, but the black Scandinavians invented hockey anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Jake take over everything they get involved in because Jake is superior. That's the prophecy.
Period.
This is 25. That nigga hopped right off. I love he did that shit instant, no hesitation. 3 seconds.
That's what's up, man. All
I
right.
got that list too.
Yeah, let's bring out that list. We're gonna get ready to wrap.
Just got off work.
Hey, it is what it is, brother.
I'm gonna start with Elijah McCoy because that's a phrase we all know. The real McCoy.
Yeah.
All right, and he had 57 patent devices. Most notably the oil cup for lubricating steam.
Shit over with.
And
I
that
ain't spending
phrase
that
came about
with
because his shit was probably so good. But Esau was supposed to make knockoffs and everything.
Right.
People like, no, we want the real
Real
McCoy. We want the
Real
original from
McCoy,
this nigga.
Right.
All right. All right. Louis Latimer, of course, you already mentioned him, the light bulb part, but he's also played a critical role in the development of the telephone.
Damn.
All right. Dr. Charles Brew.
So it should have been called Commonwealth Latimer, not Commonwealth Edison.
Yep.
Pieces of shit. But go ahead.
Yep.
Continue.
Black doctor created the process of storing blood plasma for transfusion. Basically created the blood banks.
Exactly. Yep.
All right. Another nigga, 50 patents for including the automatic brake and telegraphony device allowing voice and telegraph messages on one wire. All right. So you ain't gotta have bitches in the booth.
Right.
Changing the lines over. A black man did that.
Yes.
All right. Mark Dean, now they say co-invented the personal computer at IBM. So basically, Esau took credit for this nigga shit.
Wow.
All right, including the color monitor and the.
And you know what? I just saved that into my phone and do a lesson on that. So it's coming out now.
Yep. We made the first gigahertz chip. So we got Nvidia and all these fucking companies getting rich and the stocks. You motherfuckers are putting in on these stocks. A nigga is the one that invented the first gig chip, man. All right.
There was also a Jake that invented the photocopier, those copy machines.
Yeah, the copy
IBM.
machine.
Right. Yeah, it was a Jake that came up with that idea.
The female Jake did the GPS.
Yeah.
Yep. She passed away.
And the iPhone.
That's right. Go ahead, Benjamin.
Otis Boykin, 26 devices, including critical components for guided missiles and computers. So Esau, you're a great award because of the invention of Jake, which of course is because of the Lord. But Jake is the reason you can guide these missiles, man. All right.
That shit crazy.
The microphone, James West, he invented the full Electronet microphone, used 90% of modern communications. 3D imaging.
Wow.
Valerie Thomas, this is a female then. Valerie Thomas invented technology for NASA that produces 3-dimensional images. The fire escape bladder, the corn planter, the foldable bed, the hairbrush, the automatic doors on the fucking elevator.
The doorknob. We invented the doorknob.
This is crazy, man.
Man, so that hey, somebody you got soft to the earth.
All these Edomites that
I got wisdom on
the food truck industry that's booming, the ice cream trucks, that's that nigga, because he is the reason why trucks became refrigerated.
We made ice cream.
Yeah, refrigerated trucks for shipping.
Vanilla ice cream was created by Jake.
So somebody you got it, then you can read
And he
the
didn't lick
wisdom
nobody's
too.
spot.
Before you read those, just to solidify the whole thing when these women are how they women are turning on the videos we play. Go ahead and read that Job 27 and then we're gonna read those and we done.
This is Job 27. I'm gonna start at 14. If his children be multiplied, it is for the sword, and his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread. These that remain of him shall be buried in death, and his widows shall not weep.
Man, and it just warms my heart and tickles me to see these Edomite women go off on these men like this. Man. I find it very satisfying. All right, I love it.
If I may, because a lot of these Edomite women, they know that their men are homosexuals and cucks, man.
Well, you saw the way
All right.
their eyes were wandering at at the tournament today.
Oh,
Right.
Anytime there's a room full of Jake and there's a room full of Edomites, the women are
right.
Shit.
I got a report. So this is actual real, right? It says report indicates that the Grindr app experiences significant performance issues and increased outage reports during major conservative political events, often due to a massive surge in local user activity.
Wow, Grindr's for facts.
Grindr is a gay dating site. It's
Wow.
a gay Tinder, and it's
so during political events.
conservative political
So
events.
these Christian dancers.
Conservative, yes.
Wow.
Yes, so the app crashes. The most recent crash was Charlie Kirk's funeral.
All of those racist niggas is gay.
They're all, the majority of them are gay.
They're gay.
Give me that, Kirk!
And they ain't even regular gay. They gay with a preference. They gay for Jake, bro. They gay for Jake. The racist niggas are gay for Jake, bro.
That's fucked up.
Matthew 5. He got one more scripture, man. Go ahead.
This is Matthew 5:13. Ye are the salt of the earth. But if the salt have lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is henceforth good for nothing but to be cast out and be trodden under the foot of men.
And that's what it is, man. All right? This world would be a flavorless place without Jake, man. All right? You ever had some saltless food? Some unseasoned food? All right? It's yeah.
White folks.
Yeah.
Job is going through hell. He still found time to complain about unsalted eggs.
There it is, man.
They take it away.
All right? And you go ahead and hit that wisdom of Solomon too. They made no account.
This 1 John 2:20. But ye have an unction from the Holy One, and you know all things. Lord, give us understanding, all kind of understanding across the board of everything. If you go in the scriptures, we made engines back in the ancient world. We made devices that were engine devices. We were doing things like this, and it's in the scriptures.
War machinery.
Right? They learned ambushes and warfare from us. Esau and the world has learned everything from Jacob. If you go back into the Egypt, and Abraham, Egypt, he was teaching them. And when you go to Joseph, Egypt, he was leading them. You go to Daniel, they were so, when the elite got a hold of Jake, they put them over the empires.
I think the military still get training, knife training from the Apaches.
I can believe.
Yeah, they've used them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's where a lot of special forces learn their knife fighting techniques and their tomahawks techniques.
It's a story that
from
goes.
They brought in Apaches to teach them their knife fighting.
It's a story that goes back to when the so-called Native American Indians were starting to get into America's army, that they were forcing them to shave their beards and their hair, and they were using them before that, and they were the best trackers and everything. When they start shaving their beards and stuff, they didn't have the same results to their state. You know what? You can keep your beard. Yeah. And they were still letting them do what they do because they had that special connection with the spirit to be able to track and hunt and do those things that Esau couldn't do.
Hey, they got it's a Jake right now who's converting plastic into gasoline. And they've been threatening this dude, trying to threatening to kill this young guy. He's a young guy, young Jake.
Yeah, he's been having issues. I've seen
having issues.
I've seen videos about him, and he posted up a lot of receipts too, and he even mentioned something about something might happen to him.
Yeah.
And he said that he's actually likes his life. I would not kill myself. But, what else were we waiting for? Wisdom of Solomon, bro. We getting ready to wrap, bro. Go ahead.
This is Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him.
That's right.
And made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible.
And that's what that's basically what these women were confirming. These so-called white women were confirming. All right, go ahead.
And shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for.
And we can't wait for that part.
Great fear.
We can't wait for that part. So with that, we're gonna give all praises, all honor, and glory unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekakodash.
Kwam Yasharala.
Kwam Yasharala.
Baba Ball.
Baba Ball.
Ariella, come on in, brothers. We got something we need to talk about before.